Explain one way in which courts and trials in England were different in the medieval era to the early modern era. 4 marks. Here's the mark scheme for this question, which you can find out about in more detail in our overview video. But we do know that 2 marks are awarded for AO2, which is the quality of your comparison. So that means that you need to be analytical rather than generalised. By that we mean you need to explain your thinking, not just stating that there are differences or similarities, but why there are differences or similarities, or the significant differences and similarities. The 2 marks are also awarded for AO1, which is your use of knowledge and understanding to support your judgments. So if you're saying that something's similar or different, then can you draw on the knowledge that you already have to explain why that might be? That feeds into the analysis that we were just talking about. And as we say, the AOs depend on each other, so bringing in evidence of your own knowledge to support your analysis is really key to scoring highly on this question. Here are the bands for this question, which again are explained in more detail in the overview video. But generally speaking, to score highly on this question, your comparison needs to be analytical, so you've explained your thinking clearly, and it needs to draw on evidence from your own knowledge to show that you've got really detailed knowledge of the topic. There are lots of points you could have made when answering this question, so as long as what you say is relevant and correct, the examiner will give you the marks. But let's take a look at some examples of points you could have included. So one key point of difference could have been the role of the church. So you could explain that in medieval England, the benefit of the clergy meant that anyone who could read a passage from the Bible aloud in a church court could prove that they worked for the church and therefore escape capital punishment. Whereas in the early modern era, more people were now literate, so this rule was scrapped. Take a look at the rest of the points though to see if there's anything you could have included in your answer.